Hey, what's good, people? I'm Jason DeBillius. This is the Option Podcast. This is episode 176. That girl looks like Liz Ribble, musician, artist, karaoke queen. The episode starts right now. What's up, Liz?
What's up?
Yo, got to give the people what they want.
Ugh.
Got to give the people what they
Yes.
want. And in these 5 zip codes, she still exists. Maybe not for long, right?
No.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. So Drew
Yeah.
already left, right?
He's
Drew
gone.
Cannon? Yeah.
Yes.
How's he? He's loving the opportunities out there, right? I mean, as far as theater performance, film, and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, he's just settling in right now, but yeah, he's pretty excited about some big opportunities.
Yeah.
He is what am I saying? He's amazing. So, you know what I mean? Like, there is so much open for him out there, especially, and we get a better way of living out there. So why not?
So it's really good having you back on the show, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the first time you came on the show, this is like episode 27.
Yeah.
You were the last in studio guest before the pandemic. Yes. And you should see that
my
episode again. We're
God.
like, man, just let the kids go out there and throw some dirt on your face. You know what I'm saying? We were just, remember we had like this
Yes.
fear, and we were trying to get rid of the fear and make sure it wasn't like this problem that, just got worse and worse and worse. That was our last episode before.
I know, it's all coming back to me. I said some things.
Yeah.
Goodness.
We said a lot of things.
We did say a lot of things, but on the pandemic, I definitely said a few things that I wish I could take back after getting everything. So,
No doubt.
but let's talk about
Yeah, let's talk about
you.
everything. Well, first, before we have fun, because we got a lot of subject matter. Listen, guys, if you're expecting a volleyball guest, or if you're expecting like us to address serious matters, this is we're just gonna call that one a skip, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
sorry, not sorry.
my juniors team. This might not be for you either, okay?
No.
But really good seeing you Monday night.
Oh, I know. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
Got
Wasn't that
letters.
rare? It was like this Monday where I felt like everyone who hasn't been there for a long time.
Came together.
Greg, right? Greg Faulkner was there.
Yep.
Greg Faulkner, who I'm head assistant coach at Cal Northridge. He's also coaching club, so he's
Greg
been busy.
moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'm just glad he stayed in shape.
He looks great.
Yeah, coaching gets you fat, dude.
It does?
Yeah, it really does, because you know what happens. You work up the same appetite as the players, and you're not burning calories. You're not, burning calories that's supposed to get replaced by the next meal. And what are you doing? You're replacing next meal for something that's never even burned.
Well, you
You're gonna
look
get
good.
fat.
So what are you doing different?
I got on the scale and kicked the scale.
You're like, not today.
I
Not today,
kicked-
Satan.
Dude, I kicked the scale like it was the scale's fault. I said, bow. And the scale was like,
Excuse me?
this is what I get for being honest, right? Trying to help you. This is what I get for being honest. So,
You did this to you.
Yeah.
You did this to you.
so what I did was I tried a carnivore thing for a little bit, and your energy shoots through the roof. And yes, you do lose weight. But doing carnivore exclusively, you still lose the weight because you're not actually adding calories from other places. But carnivore advice, people, all right? I'm not a doctor, but I've had so many people I've had 2 who this is their wheelhouse. So doctors out there, listen to me, okay? Sit down, have this seminar.
You heard.
So people that want to go carnivore, don't cold turkey it. If you have other foods in your life, just eat less until it's gone. Because what happens is it kind of messes with your poop a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, it's just less, and it's whatever, because it's your body trying to adjust to a whole other thing.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause- Yeah, your body's trying to. If it's not burned, it's waste, right?
Yeah.
And if there's nothing else except the B12, and now you don't have the calories, and now you don't have the other stuff, like stuff that is high in grams of sugar. You know what I'm saying?
So it messes with everything
Yeah.
in your stomach. Ooh.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, no.
And you really get everything you want from red meat. from salmon. Salmon's a great source of omega-3. 1 square of salmon is equivalent to 6,000 units of vitamin D.
I love salmon.
Yeah.
I don't like red meat.
No.
I
No,
know.
but
I don't
doesn't
like
matter. I mean, you get it. You just don't want to go straight so far one direction that you have to have so many things to replace unnecessary nutrients that you're also having the stuff that comes with it.
Yeah.
The grams of sugar, the trans fat, the other stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
you're getting all of the ex-boyfriend baggage,
Yeah.
basically. Into
so
all
I
of
did.
it.
So last year I did a whole month. A year ago I did a whole month carnivore. I lost 11 pounds. This year I'm back on it, but I'm doing like a tapering thing,
Okay.
which is working excellent for me. I'm just,
Tapering down.
yeah. I mean, we ain't gonna have a podcast about poop, but at the end of the day, you just want. There's a certain time of day, right? You read your book and you're done, and there's no drama, right?
I mean, I'm on
Yeah.
TikTok and it's so bad. It's so bad. That is like, what does it say? Like, what is that saying about going to the bathroom and taking a shit? Like, that's man's, like, one release. Well, this man over here sits on the toilet forever. It's so bad for you. If you look into studies, it's terrible for you.
Yeah,
But
just
I'm
spending
like,
too much time there.
No one leave me. Everyone leave me alone. No one bug me. Hunter, my son. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Like, I need this moment of peace. It's terrible.
Well, I guess from the thing I have to say about that, from East Coast to West Coast, like I moved in this place that has four bathrooms, and an East Coast guy's like, "What the hell do you need a house that has 4 bathrooms? I don't even have 4 people, right?" But then you appreciate, multiple floors. I'm like, okay, I'm here, boom, and this and that. Like where I grew up in New York, we only had 1, right? Well, we had 2, but one got did away with, and then we brought the plumbing back. But 14-room house, we're just like, yo, get the hell out, we got to go to work, this and that. So you don't see a lot of 4-bedroom houses or definitely not multiple bathroom apartments in New York.
Yeah.
So,
I've never heard of multiple bathrooms.
Yeah. But we get a great advice for vitamin D for our East Coast people, right? I mean, the West Coast, we just working out, just exercising outdoors does a lot for your vitamin D.
I love being outside. That's like my favorite, probably one of my favorite things to do. It's the scenery for me. That's something I'm going to miss for sure.
Yeah, New York, 2/3 of the population have low vitamin D.
Yeah.
Which is why they're on all these supplements, but
And they're like translucent.
probably, yeah. I mean, dude, yeah, I'm like pasty, dude. You first met me, all right? I was so white I could put fingerprints on chalk.
You did. You finally got some color to you.
Like, wait,
thank goodness.
Hey, that's your black friend, right? As the white dude.
That's what I was trying to tell my sister. She's like, he's really half black, and I'm like, yeah. She goes, no. I'm like, yeah, dude. She goes, he's whiter than me. I'm like,
It's true.
Don't tell them that.
No, in this world of woke overcorrection, right?
Yeah,
You
basically.
can't say boo on Halloween.
Jeez, it's like,
Yeah.
oh
Well,
my
actually,
gosh,
that's on our agenda too.
Oh, no
But we're
way,
having
yeah.
way too much fun to talk
We're
about
talking
that
about
right
poop.
now.
Yeah,
We're
I know.
talking about poop. We're talking
We
about
gotta talk
other
about vitamin
things.
D deficiencies.
That's it, but that's
love it.
important. Like, look, there are people who are vegans, right? And they're vegans are mindfully aware of their nutrition because they know they're giving up something that has something that's good for them. So the reason why you see studies out there that show vegan lifestyles are more healthier than meat eaters lifestyles, because one are the lurking variables. Most vegans I know are doing yoga.
Yeah.
They have an exercise lifestyle
Yeah.
that goes with it. Right? So if you're going to do a study and you got this person doing yoga and exercising versus a meat eater sitting on his ass with greasy ass fries, right?
Yeah.
Then the study's not really telling you something. The study will tell you something if you have someone that's a carnivore and has a similar lifestyle. Might be inconclusive, might mean nothing, but I guess we're just trying to tell our audience, be very leery of something that just says studies show and you ain't actually looking at the study.
No, you're not looking at the study, but also you really got to focus on whatever route you're going to go, whether it be keto, whether it be a butter diet. If you're on that butter diet, you know what I mean? You need to do the research. You need to put in the work. That's all it is. If you want any type of lifestyle, you put in the work. Otherwise, you're not going to see results. And also, you're not going to be true to yourself with like following through. So
The other thing is too, like, if you are the type of person that doesn't like giving up control, right? Let's say, in the last 2 years, like a mistrust in medical professionals and doctors has gone up exponentially, right? So for me, for some of my friends that are like, I don't trust this person, I don't trust that person, but at the same time, you don't want to educate yourself. You don't want to read. You don't want to do your own research. You really can't have it both ways and expect some kind of good quality of life.
yeah.
Never mind sanctity of life, just living, right? But yeah, and that's what I say. I will never look at someone that's done the research and came to me with the research only for me to say, "Oh, you're a doctor." I would never do that, because that's someone who made that active decision and educated themselves.
Yeah, but it's like, you know how we tell the kids fire's bad? Like, fire bad, fire bad.
Just might burn you. Yeah.
Yeah, well, fire also creates warmth and light, and that's, how we lived, or like in the beginnings of time when we've created fire, or when it was there. But if you let it get out of control, then it's bad. Then it hurts.
Right.
Then you burn. Then things burn. So it's like you try to like, no, that doctor doesn't know what he talks about. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Did you have many years,
Right.
decades of research, decades of schooling? Think about it. I'm like, okay, and they have no idea what they're talking about. Nothing. No. No clue what they're talking about. That's ridiculous. Okay, cool.
I also think that you have to know, you can't just assume all doctors are really good at their job, right? I've known people that practice law for 20 years and they still suck. So one, know who your doctor is. Two, know what their limitations are. Like right now, like Governor Newsom at some point was trying to pass a bill saying that if you spoke out for ivermectin or like monoclonal antibodies or whatever, you'd lose your license. So what if you're a doctor and you have like 6,000, you have 2,000 patients or whatever, and you're really just trying to do your job, but you are handed down mandates and requirements that are handed above you from the CDC and from other agencies that control whether you can keep your license to practice, right? So to ask someone, are you a doctor, and you're not a doctor, and at the same time, say you were supposed to have this trust system and you're supposed to trust the science, but at the same time, you won't let scientists have a conversation, is disingenuous, right? Sorry, you're like clearing my throat on that one.
Oh my gosh. No, you caught me, because you're right. It's so crazy to me to think we are now being so silenced. Shh. That's what it is. Shh.
Hush.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? No.
But
I'm sorry.
But if
no, I'm sorry.
But if I
No. You see this paper right here that says that I'm somebody?
I just want to.
Shh. No. Shut the fuck up. Sit down. Follow the rules. You can't even laugh. I'm sorry. You don't have control of your body. Oh. Boom. I know. Yeah.
That's it.
I'm sorry. Follow the leader. That's what's happening. They're telling us to sit down, shut the fuck up, and do as we're told.
Yeah. And they wonder why. And when I say they, we kind of get a sense on who we're talking about. We mean anybody that is making you do something against your own will.
That's anybody. Yes, of course. But you know who.
Well, we have a general. Well, I have a general. No, but I have a general rule that says if someone's making you do something, it can't be all that good, right? Because if it's supposed to help you, you'd voluntarily want to do it, right? I mean, look, there are categories of people. They're just anti everything, and that's a very small category. And I'm not talking about that person, right? And there's this category of someone that says you're supposed to believe everything someone says, and that, believe it or not, that's a small category. They're made to believe that they're bigger than they are, right? Which because they both have a voice that's loud enough that brushes against each other, that creates opposition to the other 80% of people.
Yeah.
We could just bro science
like
a
85.
number. Yeah, we'll bro science a number.
There you go.
But yeah, so I guess what I was trying to say was that I trust doctors, but it has to make sense.
Yeah.
I trust studies, but they have to make sense. I trust nutrition advice, but it has to make sense. I'm a volleyball coach, and volleyball coaches refer to studies all the time. But at the same time, I always warn other coaches, dude, this is your wheelhouse. The scientist here is you, right? You've been coaching 2 decades.
It's all trial by error.
You find out what works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
And I remember I talked to Dane Blanton. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He says, so basically what you're saying is just you throw crap against the wall and see what sticks. I said, yes.
That's exactly what you do. It's like parenting.
What do you think science is?
You're like, oh shit, shouldn't drop the baby on the head again.
No,
Like,
it's
gosh,
just
like, what do you think?
It's basically a chunk, whoom, and then like,
You're like, wow,
falls off the wall in 6 seconds. Must repeat.
It did.
But
You're like, maybe I should eat a little bit more corn. Maybe it'll roll a little more. But that's basically what it is. So what I think is, I'm a why girl.
a what?
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you drinking it like that? Isn't it better if you just take it out and drink it like that? Oh, that's how you. Oh, cool. I didn't know. Oh, why is the sky blue? You're telling me because of the space? I'm sorry, space isn't really a color. Or why the, okay, perfect. Like fish breathe underwater. Okay. Like why? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to ask tough questions. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to bring religion into this, but I asked why. And that's why I left religion, because I was getting shot down. I was like, oh shoot. Okay. You're not even going to tell me and you don't even know why. Shouldn't you be asking questions? But here we are.
You know what's weird about religion? Religion does require a lot of blind faith, right?
It really does.
So let's fix your mic. See how my mic is turned this way?
Go like this.
Yeah, like that.
Here we go. Touch it once. I'm breaking things.
Nice. Not good. Now our volume's equal. But
much better.
Religion requires a lot of blind faith, and it requires a lot of historical reference too, right? And I guess the weird thing that those things have in common is that history is written by whoever wins, right?
Yeah.
If religion won, they get to write it, right? If science wins, they get to write it. And science has a big advantage because they get to test the theories present day with better technology to prove back then, the world was, Christopher Columbus, hey, crazy Chris, how's the all round world, So, so just think about how powerful religion is through an ideology that gets repeated through fantastic stories, right? And think about science understood. That's what I use. Well, to me, science that's not understood, I call magic. Right? Magic is science not yet understood. That's what I feel.
True.
One has a Pepsi challenge, and an atheist has every right to not believe what he wants based on his critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
Right? And then you got people who are just as intellectual as an atheist is, and maybe they're smart enough to know that, okay, maybe it didn't go exactly how the Bible went down, but there are some things that go beyond the scope of comprehension that they've experienced in their life that make them true believers.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not zealots. Maybe they're not hardcore Christians. Maybe they're not hardcore Muslims. And for me, as long as you ain't hurting nobody.
But I mean, I feel like that's the golden rule.
Don't hurt nobody.
You don't hurt me, I don't hurt you. We're
Yes.
good. We're Gucci. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. Perfect.
So,
it's true.
So I have a friend from Ghana named Seydou, right? And I have a friend from New York, Kenny. His name is Kenny. He's an agnostic, pretty much. He acknowledges a God. He's just not, a hardcore guy. And he'll go to church because his family goes to church, whatever. Yeah. But he said something really funny. He says, I'm glad religion exists. He says, so people like you don't go crazy and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Seydou says in his African accent, he says, so Kenny, when has religion ever stopped that?
No.
I was like, wow.
Oh, that's so true.
When has religion ever stopped that?
Uncomfortable. Yeah.
Because that's a double-edged sword, right? How many wars have been started over religion?
Yeah, but then you go into another question: how many wars have been fought over, like, women?
Right.
So it's like you can go into multiple different ways of it, but it's like it's the man, the person, and back in the day, it was the man
Right.
who created all of these.
Right.
So it's like, who's to say that if I flick you in the nose, it's bad? It's gonna hurt you, but I didn't.
It's very temporary feeling, but go ahead.
You know what I mean? But like, I didn't hurt you. Like, I hurt you, but I didn't like hurt you.
Right.
So you know that gray area right over there, where you're just like, I don't know, can I get away with this?
Yeah.
And this
right?
guy was like, no, you can't. I'm sorry. God said no. You can't flick people on the nose.
Right.
So there's like, I feel like there's some gray area for the people here. And then there's no gray area for the people who are following and listening along.
Right. And the reason why people who are non-professionals, because we're getting back to that, question people who are professionals, because in their experience, it has to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, they have every right to not believe it. And that's another category too, because now we're adding categories. But the problem I have is someone who's a professional saying this isn't even up for debate. This is not a discussion. It's disingenuous. We're not even discussing this, right? Especially what happened the last 2 years.
Oh my God.
You know, like I'll give you a great example. I got this is Dana White. He's the UFC president, right? I'm actually gonna pull up a video.
Show me.
I have on TikTok, and I hope it can catch this. So let's do that, and let's go away. Let's do that. Let's see if this pops up. And here we go.
Are you surprised at the backlash that people don't even want to allow you to discuss options and pretreatment?
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's one of the craziest things that I've ever witnessed in my life. And we're not talking about experimental drugs or things that this stuff's been around. And the ivermectin.
You're a doctor?
The guy won the Nobel Peace Prize.
You're a doctor?
Huh?
You're a doctor?
No, but there's plenty of doctors
there you go.
that do.
Here he comes.
I just asked a question. Are you a doctor?
No, but I took them and they both work for me. So why shouldn't I be able to take them again? Or other people?
I won't answer.
No, come on, dive in. You want to know what's scary? Bet I could get some fucking pain pills quicker than I could get monoclonal antibodies. No, not maybe. That's a fact.
Are you surprised?
My man, Dana. So, but that's just an example of a guy who's says, look, it has to make sense. Now, for YouTube purposes or whatever, hey, the vaccine is effective and safe and helps fight a severe infection. So I'm citing that as a pretext that my opinions of Dana White and our opinions of Dana White do not reflect that. So did we cover our bases on that?
I feel like we did.
All right, cool. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying that the drug he's talking about was the cure for the whatever, but that it was the fact that it wasn't even a conversation, and the fact that this is a medication that got vilified when prior to it was listed on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines.
Yeah.
It's it was originally used for parasite. It was an anti-parasitic, and this and that, and of course it got translated to like for animals, right? Like, that was the narrative that was sold here in the United States. It was just for horses, horse dewormer.
Yeah, okay, that's.
And then next thing you know, CNN, it was like, oh, Joe Rogan wants you to take horse pills, but that's the myth, right? Now, if you're listening to a news station that has doctors on there saying this is not for humans, it's not for horses, take it, right? You're supposed to believe that person because that's a professional. Are you a doctor? No, then shut the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
But the truth is, this medication is also used for horses. Where CNN sold it, said, oh, it's sometimes used for humans. So you shift the argument the other way. No, no. It's originally used for humans, but can also be used for animals. That was the truth. And if you use the percentage of people who take this drug as humans and the percentage that's given to animals, that's the percentage is skewed. Anyone Google any study you want, you're not gonna find one single study out there that says this drug's used more for animals than human beings, because that study doesn't exist.
Yeah, but isn't a lot of medication that's used for humans, isn't it also in small doses used for animals?
Well, that's a bivalent booster, right? That was no, the bivalent booster is 8 mice.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't have a problem taking drugs that were used on animals. 8 mice. We're right now the new booster out there right now. We're the experiment. That was there. There were no human test trials. We're the human trial.
We're the human trials.
Yeah.
Oh,
God damn, did I do? You know, man, this podcast ain't
scary.
getting no shares,
Oh
boy.
man.
No, but
I know, right?
Here's the point I was trying to make. This drug won the Nobel Peace Prize for its original intention. It's on the list of essential medicines. You have it in your cabinet. So, and I think that's what I was trying to talk about. We respect professionals. We appreciate that they spent all this money to go to medical school and have loans that they're going to pay back by the time they turn 79, right? We appreciate that someone goes through all that work, because I don't think a lot of people become doctors just for the money. A lot of people become doctors because they want to help people.
I
You know what
mean,
I'm
if
saying?
you ask a couple doctors, they're like, "Oh, my sister had cancer," or "Oh, I had a family member," or like, "I just saw a need and I needed to help," and
Right.
it's amazing. And then somebody wants to look into and think that they can help with a few different studies, and I think that's incredible. They are amazing.
Right. So, yeah, and that's the point I was trying to make, and I'm going to go on your camera for a second. Fix the...
Is it keep doing it?
Yeah, it fell on its own, but I got you.
I'm like, I didn't touch it this
Give it
time.
It's microphone head.
Oh, excuse me. It's like looking at my tits right now. It's
Oh
like,
my God.
woo.
Yeah, they're looking at us right now. It's like I can never look at Jason and Liz the same way ever again. But I respect professionals. Like, take the law, for example. There are more people in law school right now than there are lawyers on the face of the earth. Because when people go to law school, they find something they love about the law. Look, some people are in it for the money. There are some professionals there are some professions where up front, you're not in it because you like it, because you're going to make money. Real estate.
Yeah, that's true.
Real estate. That's a volleyball player's fallback. That's what professionals do when they realize that this ain't a lot of money, right? Go, Eric Moana, you want a gold medal? Good for you. Go sell a house. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
commission's great.
I'm wound up today. I'm wound up today, dude.
You're on a good one.
Yeah. I gotta. So Liz, I'm going to present a question, because my boss, the only boss I acknowledge, Jason Olive from LAVBC, says, my problem is I go too far with my mouth. He says, you're the kind of guy that you're vying to get this mansion, right? And when you finally get the mansion, you're so angry that you did all that work to get there. You take a brick and you throw it through your own window.
Yeah.
And he I think he's right. It hasn't stopped me from shutting the fuck up now, but I'm just trying. And I think one of my challenges right now is sometimes keeping it real. And there's something more liberating and invigorating about just telling everybody what's on your mind and what you really think of them. Sometimes I go too far. Sometimes it's not necessary.
No, it's 'cause
And
you're
he
a dying
warned
species.
the dude warned me before I got in this podcast. He says, whatever you're doing in life, and we both got a lot going on. He says, dude, you're right there. Just be careful. And it's crazy because he said that right before we got in this podcast. And what have we done the first 29 minutes?
Sorry.
So talk to me a little bit about from you, just personal experiences, things you want to say, but there's things that you want. Because it sounds like we're doing small talk, but I'm telling you, what we're talking about right now, there are people out there that are like, I feel the same way. And I want to know if Liz feels differently or the same way about Jason, or how it makes them feel about themselves. So everyone listening, stay with us on this, because this is super necessary, because someone out there feels that way.
It's true. It's true. For you and me, I feel like we do keep it very real. and I don't shy away from the nasties and the scaries of a
Right.
conversation. I actually love looking at people's reaction. It's my favorite. I'm like, why are you shocked? Did I say something that really offended you, or did you just think it offended you because you don't understand?
Yeah.
Ooh. But then I feel like we're also just a dying species because everyone's so shh, like I said earlier. Shh. Oh my gosh, no, don't say that about me. Oh my gosh, no, but I'm a lady, I'm a woman. Oh no, I'm a man. Oh wait, I'm what is it? Fluid, gender fluid and non-binary. And that's incredible that that's what you want to do, and I'm not going to dock that. And if you want me to call you a horse, I'll call you a horse. I don't really care. Exactly. You want me I mean you want me to call you a duck, I'll fucking quack with you, babe. Like that's not
A goose.
I know. I'm already squeaking like a mouse. Let's go, anybody. Well, they're the furries and all of that. They're putting litter boxes in
No, come on.
schools.
Guys, you told me that.
Yeah, I did,
There's
because
a litter
it's
box in the school.
yeah. I'm like, what are we really teaching our kids right now? Like, I go as far as that. Like, that's a lot. And I'm not coming for anybody. Really, I'm not. I just don't know the thought process behind it. Why? I go back to it. Why? Tell me why. So then I can understand. And then we can talk shit together. So, but I don't understand. I don't understand how we got this far. How did we get this far?
Okay, I think what you're trying to say is, with all of the problems out there that seem so outrageous, why
Smoke and
should
mirrors.
anyone give two shits
Yes.
about you having an extreme opinion on something? You just mentioned there was a kid in a class that insisted on having a litter box because they identify with being a cat.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You see the Bud Light commercial, like about the horse of the Clydesdale. Everybody was like,
Yes.
"I wonder if that horse identifies with being a male or a female."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but no. But here's the problem. Dave Chappelle said this best, and I'm bringing it back. Empathy is bisexual. It must work both ways.
It does.
So the class of people or whatever group that thinks they're marginalized, they're begging us to understand them. And I say us, meaning just the collective, not us, me, and you. But at the same time, it's such a shock to people who perceive their behavior as normal. We collectively owe it to ourselves to say they need a minute. Give them a minute. We ain't got time for this. No, now. No, you got to give them a minute too. Because this is shocking to them. Because to them, this isn't normal. This isn't acceptable. This is weird. That's how they were taught, right? So I guess we have to have empathy for people who are trying to reach more to the middle, right? Like, look, right now everyone thinks what I said in the beginning was extreme. This is a watered down version of the things I really wanted to say. This is,
Yeah. I'm being very careful. I'm treading
This
light
is as
waters
careful.
right now.
Honestly, they trust you. And a lot of my guests don't know you, but the South Bay, I owe it to myself to have some great human beings, interesting people too.
Oh.
But the South Bay loves you because you have a sense of humor where we can all laugh together.
Yeah.
The jokes you tell are not designed to ridicule or unnerve or make someone feel bad about themselves and get laughs at that person's expense. And I guess that's the genius with some comedians too, right? Like, the ones that survive are the ones that tell jokes where we can all laugh together.
Yeah, because it's not about putting people down. It's about bringing people together and bring them up. That's the whole point of living, I feel like. Why do it alone? We weren't made to be alone. Like, I'm not talking about in a relationship or a sexual sense because, God, I love sex. But the point is like this conversation that we're having, this communication, this across the table.
Yes.
I'm looking at your eyes. I'm looking at you. Jason, you're my friend. This is what I live for. To help people, to pick people up when they fall down. But also, I love to freaking laugh, man. I love it. But I want to see you smile because I think a smile it helps depression. It helps it puts some like amazing thoughts in your head. Like, remember that time. Remember that time. Oh, I'm so happy. I just want to dance.
Cool. And I really go back to Monday night. I'm just glad that we can take Monday night and feel like there was no time lost. That was amazing.
Like, I just saw you the other day.
Yeah.
Oh,
What did you sing? What did I sing?
I sing X and O's by Ellie.
Yeah, I sang Fleetwood Mac.
You did.
Gold Dust Woman, right?
Yes, you
Did
did.
she make you cry, make you break down?
Everyone was up
Shatter
singing.
oceans of love.
Everyone was up.
Yeah, and I guess that leads to one of the bigger topics we wanted to discuss, and I think we're having a good time, and I hope everyone listens having a good time too. It's just a blast. But I'll give you an example of how this is a watered down version of me, right?
Go for it.
I reached out to a porn star, a Bella Danger.
Oh,
right,
nice.
on Twitter or whatever, and this and
Yes.
that, and she DM'd me back, was interested in coming on the podcast. Tell me more about the podcast. And I said to myself, there's no with what's going on in my life right now, where I'm supposed to be on the front door with other things in my life. You know, the new show Undivided, I want to talk about later. Coaching juniors, this and that. There's a part of me that's off the grid when it comes to political correctness, but that's gone way too far. There's no freaking way I could have that woman on my podcast right now. No. And it's,
I mean, you could,
but it's,
but you,
no, but the subject matter. For me, the whole purpose of the podcast is to use sports, entertainment, health and wellness, and current events to actually not provide people with information, tell them what to do, but no, to take some of these things and throw the question out there.
Yeah, it's a conversation
and
starter.
hopefully me and my guest and the audience listening, we can all answer them together.
Not
And that
even
includes, but that includes sex too.
Yeah, but we
You-
also
you know?
don't need
But that was
to
the reason-
answer the question.
No, but that was the reason why I was
Yeah.
interested, because that's in its own genre and in its own thing, something that's a lot of people in America are not comfortable talking about. We could talk about violence all day, right?
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Yeah.
Let's
No, but
talk
but
about...
but you know what I'm saying? A violent movie,
Yes.
the Passion of the Christ. You know about
Ooh.
Jesus getting his behind. Well, we could talk about the violent content of that, and that's okay.
We can also
you know,
talk
we could
about
talk.
Jesus isn't white.
You ever,
Like,
yeah, you ever saw the movie Snatch? Right? I mean,
Yes.
one of my favorite movies of all time. Extremely violent.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Forrest Gump. Right? The Vietnam scene when the guy lost both his legs. That's. I mean, these things are okay. Not completely okay, but more.
no, but it's out there.
But you mentioned SEX. And everybody's like, you're provocative and you're losing your mind, and the reason why some of these movies are so popular is because they have one or two things. You can't name me a movie, a good movie, that is not included but not limited. That is included. That doesn't include but not be limited to having sex or violence, or both.
Or both. Yeah. That's
Forrest
the best.
Gump was as clean as it got, and that had violence. Right, Shawshank Redemption, one of the best movies of all time, that had violence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, American Beauty, sex and violence.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and when did you see that movie, Kevin Spacey? Oh my freaking God, he won Best Actor for that.
Yes, he did.
So, all right, skipping the porn star right now. Here's the question: does woke culture and cancel culture, which some people consider different things, does it have an overcorrection problem?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it does. And that's not putting down what woke and cancel culture have done, because, you know, but it's like, to cancel someone, you're canceling someone's career, their life. Yes, I understand why, and like the brought of light to like a couple of actors that I had that I followed since I was young, that I watched That 70s Show with, what's his name? Oh my gosh. And then he was on The Ranch with Ashton Kutcher, and he was into child pornography. Like, I watched this. I had no idea. And then cancel culture, he's gone, you know? And then we have the woke side. And I do, you know what?
Wow. So I'm looking up something at the same time you're talking.
No,
In fact,
you're fine.
I'll give
but
you
it's
the
like
camera.
woke and and cancel, I feel like they are like very different, because if you're woke, you're understanding something. If you're woke, you're fighting for something that needs to be heard. You're having this huge voice and this huge platform, and you're spreading awareness, and you're opening minds all around you, like your kids, elderly. I mean, or shit, am I saying the wrong thing? Elder, I don't even know anymore, but like, it's so different, and I feel like that's amazing. But then it also can be kind of like shoving things down my throat, where I'm like, oh, okay. Was not ready for that. Like, can you warn me before I get deep throated? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Stop. Hey. Hey.
Yeah, seriously. And cancel culture as well.
Right.
Where I'm just like, what did you hear that side? Did you just hear something like a he said she said moment, or they said them said moment? Like, honestly, like, where do you stop?
Well, first, let's see. Before we go with that, let's have a foundation. The first question is wokeism and cancel culture the same thing, right? So,
I think so.
I looked up this Australian outlet that had a pretty good interpretation on why they felt it was the same thing. I'm just going to read it for the audience, okay? According to Australia Unwrapped, right, wokeism and cancel culture are the same thing because they both focus on removing things from the media or from media that are deemed offensive or harmful. But they do so in different ways, all right? So I see the commonality, but here's why I'd like to start with my definition. If we agree, we can move on. If we disagree, let's stay with it, okay? I think the big difference between wokeism and cancel culture, wokeism is a consciousness of what people think is right or wrong, and cancel culture is the action of whatever. So how are we doing so far?
Oh, so good. Yes, I think you said that beautifully.
So we can we can go from there?
We can go from there.
All right, so the question whether there's an overcorrection, do they have an overcorrection problem? The answer is unequivocally yes. Absolutely. We can go back and forth and share probably 10 instances, 5 apiece. My turn, your turn, my turn, and we get to 10, and wow, we got there so fast. Sure, we don't want to do 20. So I'll give you one example. There was a guy, a news anchor that used the term fascism on nizzle, right? And he it was cute, right? And it's cute, and we're listening to it. But for shizzle, my nizzle is black slang for sure, my nigga.
Yeah.
Right? And N-word. I guess I got to delete this part on the edit, but I'm black, so y'all could kiss my behind too. But so what happened was he didn't know. He was advised of that. He apologized the next day, and the day after that, he got fired. And I'm like, is this guy racist? No. Is he bigoted? No. Was he racially insensitive? Question of fact, maybe. Did he say something stupid? I my personal opinion, no. But in this culture, yes. Now, the ultimate question. Should he have lost his job?
No, I don't think so.
Should he have lost he deserved to lose his, are you crazy? Are these people crazy? He deserved to lose his job? What? You know?
Ridiculous.
And I'm going to give you the floor, but I want to finish by saying this. I'm not anti-woke. I'm not anti-cancel culture because the creation and what it's become has helped people not get bullied. It's helped a marginalized class, us understand that there are people out there that you know what I'm saying? Some of you guys, you take the elevator to the penthouse, but guess what? You see them down there, you're not pushing lobby. Right? That's real. You're just not doing that. And people think that we push the lobby for everybody, and that's not true. So that's the best metaphor on how to describe that. And wokeism was a hijacked reference anyway. It was originally a black reference.
Yeah.
All the way back from the 1930s when black people were like, watch out for white people who smile on your face and pretend to be your friend, but use the N-word and put a knife in your back. So that's been hijacked in the 2010s. This is a history lesson by to apply to other marginalized groups, you know, because that's what happens. They take something where black people want their rights, and all of a sudden it's everybody else's rights that catch up and pass them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you the floor, but I wanted to finish by saying that my argument is not that that it shouldn't exist. My argument is that Don't go buck wild. What you going buck wild for? Why does everybody have to be fired? Why is it the same death sentence? Why is the person that has who was caught speeding get the same penalty as someone who committed murder? The floor is yours, Liz.
Oh, yes, people are getting really trigger happy. Like, think about it. They are.
Uh-oh. Here
You're
we
just
go.
like, oh, this power. Ooh, this gun in between my hands. Like, this is what's happening. It's becoming this shotgun effect where you're just like, haha, don't like you, boom. Don't like you, boom. Don't like you, boom. Did you mean to say that? Oh, no, I don't care. Boom. You're done.
Wow.
You're cut. I'm sorry. That's how I feel like if we don't talk about things and cancel culture and wokeism isn't brought together where, okay, before we cancel
let me interrupt
someone,
you. You mentioned
yeah.
the power dynamic that
Gosh,
comes
it
with
is.
it.
Yes.
Let's talk to me a little bit about that, because I didn't want you to.
No,
that's
no.
not something worth skating past.
No, it's not. It's like, oh gosh, Game of Thrones. Y'all are fighting for this Iron Throne, but do you know how that Iron Throne was made? You really want to voice that bad, and you want to be heard so bad that you're going to ruin people's lives over saying something that they didn't understand that they were saying? Teach them. Educate them. Give them that woke mentality of, hey, I am so sorry. I really am. I shouldn't have said that. I understand what it means now. I'm not going to do it again. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, or whatever. Fool me once. Okay. But then once they do it again, then we can go into like, oh, you're fucking cut.
Yeah.
No, like you know what I mean? It's like, okay, we'll give you a chance. Mm-hmm. What happened with giving? I mean, think of T-ball right now.
Yeah.
That all the kids are getting participation, and no one's winning, no one's losing. They're just going. When did this now all of a sudden switch to? Oh no, now you lose, and the crimes don't match the crimes. That it just doesn't match the punishment.
Yeah. That's an overcorrection.
Oh gosh,
You just
is.
gave. Not only did you give a good example of, because we're just sounding like two people talking shit here, but what you've done, unwittingly or not, was create this great example of overcorrection, but also add to the dynamic and remind everybody that there is a power dynamic in wokeism.
Yes.
All right. Another example: Liam Neeson, great actor. Don't we love that guy? I will find you. And I will kill you. Come on,
I have a set of skills.
Yes, that's the line. But look, he's been in a lot of great movies, but we all know what his through line that defined his career. That when he's long gone and our kids are learning about him, I have a particular set of skills.
I have a particular set of skills, and I will
He
find
says,
you.
you returned her, and we can forget about the whole thing or something crazy like that, right? Oh, another guy's like, good luck, and he goes.
Yes.
So Liam Neeson in 1979. Had one of his significant others. I don't know if it was a spouse or a relative that was murdered in England by black people, and he expressed dark thoughts like, I just want to go out there and shoot 2 or 3 black people. All right. Now this is 1979. Right. He was honest. Let's enter the present, and this was an interview 2 years ago, but that qualifies as the present, right? So enter the present, where he was candid about that conversation and how he felt back then. They went after him too. And I'm like, look, who you are in 1979 and who you are now are 2 different things. You can't. But this is my second example of cancel culture overcorrection. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to take someone's worst moments. And I said this on a previous podcast. It's very easy to take someone's worst moments, right? You got 1, you got 2, maybe you got 3. Take all the good moments. Whoa. Take them all out, throw them out, just isolate those 3 worst moments and say that's who you are today. Those worst moments that happened could be 5 years ago, could be 10 years ago. In his case, almost 40.
Yeah.
40 years ago, right? I'm not sure the date, but it was, we both conceded it was decades ago. But you take this dynamic, right? And then you throw out all the other things and say that's who you are. That's another bad example of wokeism / cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
Overcorrection.
Yes.
Overcorrection. How about ask him, how do you feel about that now? And maybe he tells you, that's who I was then, that's who I'm not now.
Yeah, or I feel ashamed.
How do we know you're not that person, right? But how do
Yeah.
we know you're not that person? Because if you look at my pattern from that person to what I've become, you will see I'm not that person now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the correction should lie in people's level of thinking.
Yeah. Well, didn't you hear about Kevin Hart? How something he said years ago.
Yeah.
He apologized.
Educate our audience.
Yeah. Okay. So he apologized then and there about I don't. Maybe we could pull up.
He had a
what
comedy
did he say?
routine about gay people. Like, I
Yes.
wouldn't want my kids to be gay or something like that. This is
Yes.
like 2008 or something.
Something like that. So he apologized after that. After it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Now, years later, in the present time, they're making him apologize over again. He's like, no, I've already apologized. I
Good
apologized
for
then,
him.
and I've moved past it, and here I am now. Are you seriously having me re-apologize from the past when comedy was a different story back then? I mean, oh my gosh, what am I thinking of right now? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes. Death Jam comics.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was the 90s, but yeah.
Yes, but you know what I mean? Even from there to 2008 to 2023, the differences in the comedy. Because I will listen, if I'm going for a long ride, I'll put on some like Kevin Smith and stuff, and then older recordings will come on, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm not offended. I'm just shocked. And God, I miss being shocked like that. It makes me feel alive. Some of the things that they were saying back then, and I'm just like, oh, wow, we cannot even say
Isn't
this.
that upsetting, though? How they did Kevin Hart?
is.
I'm using the word they again.
sad.
All right, Hollywood. That if everyone just keeps asking me who they is, we're gonna name them by name in this podcast. Hollywood, the same Hollywood that saw the commercials he was doing before the Academy Awards, the same Hollywood that saw him do movies with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Nothing to say about his comedy then, right? The same Hollywood that saw him do guest appearances on night shows and this and that and talk to people. And for this, from when that happened in 2007, 2008, all the way to the present when they were considering him hosting the Academy Awards, not a peep. Then all of a sudden, when he's being considered at this 11th hour thing comes up, you said this, you should apologize. I already did. Or you should talk about it more. And he's like, I don't want to talk about it more. You know? And that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And-
it's.
I mean, what do we
blows
say,
my
right?
mind.
What do we even say?
You just take a moment of silence for the tragedy. I mean, you move past. What do you do if you skin your knee? You
Right.
get up, you dust off, you fix it up, and then you move on with your life. You're not going to hold a grudge over the freaking pavement
Well,
for 20 years.
I also think since comedians are our last bastion of hope for free speech, you have to allow them to work. You have to allow. I talked to your Drew about this.
Yeah.
Drew Cannon.
Yeah.
That episode we did together, we said you got to let artists work. I use the word artists because actors, comedians, and you have to allow scripts to be bad. You have to allow scripts to be good, and you have to see what's entertaining, what's interesting, and at the same time not inspiring others to do harm. Right? Like Kevin Hart. Not the best. That wasn't the best bit in the world, but it didn't inspire anyone to hurt anybody to commit crimes.
No.
Fauci did that more than he did. But so I'll give you another example, like Dave Chappelle, right?
Oh.
Or Chris Rock.
Oh my God.
Will tell gay jokes, but they say it in a way where it's not demeaning. It's not making someone feel like less of a person or superior or inferior, where everyone can laugh together. Mm-hmm. Now Chappelle went a little bit more hard in the paint than Chris Rock did, but that came from his friend killing herself.
Ugh.
You know, if you knew that story.
Yes,
about
I do
Daphne.
a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard something about that. I didn't really look into it, to be honest.
Yeah.
With you.
Well, since we're here for a bit,
Yeah.
Daphne, educating our audience for people who skip Chappelle because woke culture told you that it wasn't good. Daphne was a transgender person that was interested in comedy. He did a performance in San Francisco, and this person was just up front laughing and actually telling jokes in between, and Dave kind of ignored some but listened to some and this and that, and then went to dinner. And she wound up at dinner, and they had such a conversation, and Dave and this woman had everyone at the table just laughing, and Dave says, you know what, why don't you open up for me on one of my performances? You be my opening act or whatever. And she's like, oh my God, this and that. So she went to the opening act, and she dressed up to the T, and she was terrible. And you couldn't get her off the stage soon enough. She was absolutely bad. Oh, no. But what she did was, I don't know if she got a ticket or whatever, she sat her behind in the front row when Dave was up next. And Dave was joking about it. I had a lot of cleaning up to do, to bring my audience back, right? And the whole time she's telling jokes with Dave, and the audience starts laughing. And they're so engaged, and they have this dialogue in and out of his comedy bit that at the end he's like, ladies and gentlemen, Daphne, and everyone gave a round of applause for Daphne. I love the way Dave Chappelle said it. He says, I tried to pretend nothing bad happened, but if you saw that performance, something bad happened, and he's teasing her, but at the same time everyone's laughing.
Yeah.
So what happened was he teased the transgender community a little bit, and Twitter went after him, and Daphne defended him, saying, look, because everyone was like, oh, why is this guy punching down? Why are you punching down? And he's like, he doesn't punch down, he punches lines, and he's an artist at his craft. So when Daphne defended him, the transgender community went after him or her, I'll just say them, and just raked her through the coals on social network. And then 6 days later, Daphne killed herself. And
so they went after their own.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing now?
And that's why when he did Killing Me, it was not Killing Me. Killing Me Softly was kind of started it, but the closer is the one that closed it. He really, yeah. And that was his argument. This is supposed to be one of your own, and you do it on your own like this, And he's like, first of all, she's not one of your own. She's a comedian. She's one of my own. It's not part of my family. Thank God she's not part of your family. That's, Yeah.
That's just
like, I'll give you an example of a joke. Like he said, that some people wouldn't find funny. He says, the whole time Daphne identified with being a woman, but the way she killed herself is she jumped like off a 6th-floor building. And he says, I was disappointed. He says, but you can't identify with a woman and do man shit like that. He says, only a man would do some crazy shit like that, right? And some people in the crowd laughed, and some people were like, and then he says, as bad as that joke was, I can only say this: Daphne would have loved that joke. And I'm about to cry now. He said,
I'm getting emotional.
He says that's why she was my friend. And that's what he said.
And that's why she was his
He went
own.
Scorched earth on not the transgender community as a whole, but people who were hell-bent on overcorrection. It is funny to say Caitlyn Jenner, his first year as a woman, gets Time Magazine's Woman of the Year. That is hilarious. Transgender people will laugh at that. Gay people will laugh at that. Straight people will laugh at that.
They do.
He beat every bitch in Detroit. He's better than all of y'all. Think about it, how funny that is. His first year as a woman,
he was
wins Woman of the Year.
And they took away his medals. Bruce's medals.
Well, David promised not to tell any more jokes in that fashion until there's a day where we can all laugh together. He says, "I'm
hope
done."
I get to live to see that.
Yeah, and that's.
Oh my gosh.
But isn't that the goal?
It is the goal. Oh no, I'm sorry. Wait, I don't want to say something and then accidentally get canceled right now. Like, at this rate? Well, shit. Well,
we already punched everybody in the AIDS.
Is this
so
seat hot? Oh my gosh! You know what? Screw it. Okay. We used to laugh together, and then there were sensitive people who took it too far, and they bashed and they took it to an extremist way of canceling. And then I feel like the umbrella of canceling throughout history is now this softer form But even this softer form is overcorrecting, like you said. You said it so beautifully. I have to keep going with that. But the overcorrection is silencing everyone. We are silenced. We can't laugh together. We can't cry together. We can't be sad about something if we grew up with a certain thing and then they take it away from us. They take it away from us. What do we do then? What do we do then? Oh no, I can't even look at the pudding because it is made by somebody who hates Jews, and we cancel them, and I cannot eat it. And yes, oh my gosh, like I will fight with you guys on that, and I will be there, and I will march, and I will understand why I'll be there for you guys and hold hands, and we got this. But it's sad, and I can't be sad about it for 2 seconds.
We as human beings, it is in our nature to want to tease, or I won't use the word ridicule. I'm going somewhere with this. So it is in our nature to over-examine things that look by appearance or behave by action that are different from us.
Yeah.
Right. I was a kid with very white pigmentation and white hair. I was teased by black people. I was called an albino. And they thought it was funny, right? I've been amongst other things that white nigger, wigger, Oreo cookie, zebra, all of these things that everybody can say, wow, I feel the same way. Let's get together and tease this person, and we feel better about ourselves. That's human nature, and it's flawed, and it's wrongheaded in many ways. And the reason why wokeism was created and has always existed, because some people think cancel culture doesn't exist. They think it's this made up thing, and it's crazy. That's like saying the Holocaust never happened. But but we as humans tend to do that. But the difference is how bad. At what level do you do it? Is it something where someone says something and you want to see how they reciprocate? Do they keep it to themselves? They don't say that no more. If they like, screw you too, your big toe's ugly, then you're in a situation and you're in a relationship with that person where you can laugh at things together. So it's really about, instead of just doing this, right, and jabbing this and this and this and this, see how the reciprocation works. And when we go there, we can laugh together. Because what wokeism and cancel culture has created are personalities that only identify with being a hammer. And if you identify with being a hammer, you're only going to be looking for things to nail.
Yep.
Where's my camera? You're only going to be looking for things to nail. If you only identify with being a hammer. Right? And there is no reciprocative nature with a hammer and a nail. I'm the hammer, you're the nail. You get nail. There is no seeing how the nail reacts or feels about that makes it okay to nail it even deeper or further or this and that. So there's an overcorrection that originally came from a noble place. You don't want to hurt that person. You don't want that person growing up feeling inferior and feeling ashamed about how they look and this and that. But wow, have we gone off the deep end? You know what I'm saying? And I think the day laughter died was really around 1993, and then the rest of the world caught up in 2008.
Yeah.
Like Robin Harris had like a fat guy like in the crowd. He's like, man, you got a weight problem. Can't wait to eat. And he laughed, and they laughed, and Robin left it at that. He see the reaction. The guy took it well.
Yeah,
the crowd took it well enough, and he moved on to like other things, because comedians need to experiment. Eddie Murphy Delirious was, these days would be considered homophobic. What he said about gay people, right? Yeah, right. He's like, faggots ain't allowed to look at my ass while I'm on stage. That's why I keep moving around. I don't know where the faggot section is. So it's one of those things where it offended a lot of gay people, but there were gay people in the crowd that were just like,
they were laughing.
They're just like, we're right here.
Yeah, we're right here,
and you're wearing them tight pants, and I got my eyes on you wearing tight. What was it? Black leather. Well, Delirious is black, and Raw was red.
Yes.
In Madison Square Garden, he did Eddie Murphy Raw, and it was red. and everything hugged his butt.
Oh.
Hugged the booty, right? And Eddie Murphy Eddie Murphy.
I love
come
this.
on, Eddie Murphy's butt made everybody question their own sexuality.
Yes. I mean, yes.
And Mr. Teague, right?
Oh my God, I love
Hey
it.
boy, look mighty good in them jeans. That's what he said. He was doing a Mr. T impersonation.
Yes, I know. That's good. But,
Ah.
oh my gosh. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay. Have you read the book The Giver?
The what?
The Giver.
No.
Have you seen the movie The Giver?
No. Brief our audience on it first before we go.
Okay. So in this book and in this movie, it is about a place that is basically a genetic monitoring and like this lifestyle that scientists have created away from the normal world. So the people there are born, live, and die in only this circle of what they know. There was different communities, there were different, like their families, the mom and the dad, let's just say, they don't, how do I explain this? So they had mothers
Yeah.
that would give birth. And then a family, when it's their time, a mom and a dad, they would be given to that family unit. Now their family unit. They didn't see color at all.
Okay.
No color. You don't see color. You know how sometimes you think like, oh, people see in color. No, these people literally took medicine every day before they walked outside. They pricked themselves. They don't see color. They don't have any emotions.
They were programmed that way.
They are programmed that
Okay,
way
got
as
it.
human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And just saying that, like, I'm not going to give too much away. Watch the movie. Read the book first. Don't be that person. Read the ever-loving book first.
It's called The Giver.
It's called The Giver.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know who wrote it?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to look that up really quick. I'm going to look it up and then
Good.
we're going to...
So while you're looking for that, I wanted to talk about like what we were programmed to do, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, but
for
this is
example-
what we're living in.
No,
This
but
is
for
where we're going.
example, it's made me so hypersensitive. I'm cursing out Siri.
I know. Me too.
I'm cursing out Siri. Like, I'm in my car and I'm like, right, and you tell your car to call someone or whatever, like, so in my car I'm like, please call Priyanka, and in my mind I think Siri's saying calling Priyanka mobile, and I'm like, fuck you, just do your fucking job, you know, don't talk to me like that. So it's made me even examine something that's not even a person. I think Siri got an attitude.
Siri does
Some
have
days
an
I think she's nice calling Priyanka, right, and I'm like. Dude, should I do like the
you.
Aussie accent? Yeah.
No, you got to go back in
Yeah.
your throat. You got to get really in there.
So do you
No,
find who it was?
my phone's
Who was
going to
it?
die right now.
All right, cool.
I'm going to need you to grab it up.
All right.
But no, oh my gosh. So I actually took off the woman Siri and I made it a man from Ireland. And he's pissing me off more than she
The Irish one?
Yes. He is pissing me off so much. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're a man. You don't tell me what to do. I'll turn left if I want to turn left. I'm like
I
so
got it.
mad.
We could do a whole comedy bit
Oh gosh.
on Siri.
Oh gosh.
It's called Siri is a bitch.
Siri is a bitch.
So-
They say it's not nice.
So check it out. So when I first realized Siri exists, right? And you move to California, you need the map for everywhere you go. Like now I know where things are. I don't need a map. I could just get in my car, drive to Irvine, this and that.
Yes.
Or Anaheim. But when you first get to know Siri,
Louis Laurie.
Lois Lowry.
Lois
Got you.
Laurie.
Got you.
Lowry,
Perfect.
Laurie.
I'm going to do that.
Oh.
Lois Lowry, people, where is that? There it is. Lois Lowry. You can't see it. It's a white screen.
No.
But so what happens is you put your phone like on the car, and then but you at the same time you have Siri telling you where to turn.
Yeah.
Stop here. Please turn left. Turn left. Right? So she's stressing me the fuck out. Turn left. Stop. Pull here. I'm like, I didn't know I could turn her off. Right? So I tried the London accent. Whoa, too stiff-lipped, and it was worse. Right? And the whole time I used to do something called an ice cream run. So I drive from Hermosa Beach to Santa Monica. But if you do the map wants you to take the 405. Which is the fifth ring of hell, right?
Yes.
For everyone not living in
Yeah.
California,
You don't-
New Yorkers, whatever, it's the 405 is the fifth ring of hell.
Yes.
It's like Greenwich, Connecticut.
It is
But
the most disgusting.
but-
by the way.
so I'm trying to find ways local roads. If
Take
I'm going to be
PCH
stuck
all
in
the way
traffic,
down.
yes, PCH to Lincoln,
Yes.
all the way to Wilshire. That was Tasty Delight, the ice cream place, the New York-based ice cream place,
Yes.
which doesn't exist anymore. So the whole time, she's telling me, turn here, and I'm like, I just want to go here, but at the same end, I don't want to get lost. Can I just go this way? So sometimes I get a little lost, but then I listen to her, and she makes me turn around, go all the way back to go on the 405. So I'm like, I gotta find a way to shut this girl up. So
Did you find out?
before I found out, I turned her to Australian accent, and she goes, 10 left on Artesia, and I went,
Turn left.
and she says, the 405 is on your next right, and I'm like,
Yes, it is. All right, I'll stay in traffic, baby, for you.
yes, yes, in a half a mile, exit 10 in a half a mile, exit 10 is right here.
In a half mile.
It's right here.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Ooh, I'm so excited for that half a mile.
someone cuts me out, beep, they're like, asshole, and I'm like,
We're good.
you're just waving.
Nice.
Dude, be nice.
Everything's all right, mate. I'm gonna go throw some shrooms on the body. I mean, what else do you do at that point? You're happy. You're cruising.
This girl got me on the 405 because in my mind I thought I was visiting Halle Berry. I'm not going for ice cream no more. I'm meeting up with a hottie, right?
Yeah.
And then finally I had to save me from myself. The function where there's no voice at all. Thank you for the maps, for Google Maps or whatever. So she don't talk to me no more. And my friend Priyanka, who just moved here, right now is going through the same progression, and I can't stop laughing. I'm like, she doesn't know how to turn it off, and I'm like, should I just tell her, or should I just let her have her fun or whatever? Or will she change accents, or will she just continue to be a nerd? She doesn't like drive. New Yorkers don't like to drive. So she don't like to drive.
You've told me for years. You're like, I hate driving, and you just go back to your back in the day.
But
tell me all your stories.
And it's crazy because I'm glad we could turn this into a satirical thing, but it is a testament to how hypersensitive we are due to overcorrection. We're so hypersensitive.
And following
we
blindly?
think something that's not even a person is a bitch.
Oh my gosh, have you've seen the movie with Joaquin Phoenix? Her.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, her.
Her.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean,
what a great movie. Joaquin Phoenix. It's called what? Tell the audience whatever.
Her.
It's called
H-E-R. Not like the singer, okay?
No.
This is a movie. It'll make you so uncomfortable. It'll make you so uncomfortable.
You know what's going to happen? Like, I keep talking back to Siri because now I feel like I have to talk last, right? And thank God Siri is at least the one person where you get to talk last.
My phone keeps
but in
going.
my mind, I think Siri desperately wants to talk. In my mind, I think Siri wants to talk last.
No, have you seen?
Yeah, I'm like, please call Liz. She's like, calling Liz, mobile. And I just say, fine. And then when I say fine, it's really quiet, like, I thought she's going to be like, what do you mean fine?
What do you mean fine? You asked me to call her. You didn't have to get on your fingers and you have to pick up your phone. You just said, call Liz. Bitch, watch yourself. I would be the best Siri. I would. I'd be like, excuse the fuck out of me. I'm like, do you not want to call this person? No, forget it.
There was that commercial.
Good luck.
Yeah. Hey, honey, your in-laws are in town, right? And then he backs out. Hey, honey, where the poop are you going? That was a message from a person.
Yes, because it's reading the messages. Oh, man, Siri is the best.
Yeah.
I love my man Siri because I really hate being told what to do. What to do, where to go, what to say. Oh, gag me, seriously, not in the good way. It's terrible. And we follow blindly. Turn left, turn right. And now, okay, here's the thing. I'm talking so much shit, but I cannot get in my car without turning on maps. I can't. And I've lived here my entire life. Not here, but
you still do the map with a voice?
I do. I do. But it's like almost like I really want to get angry. It's just making me feisty. It's like it's the edge of the day. It really puts me on. I'm like, I'm going to get angry.
Goodness.
I'm going to get frustrated. Cool. I'm going to get mad. Isn't it great?
That is, yeah. Well, I guess since we've explored and we've gone this far, here's the question. And I want to leave the question out there because maybe our audience can help us answer some of these questions together. do we let this overcorrection run its course with a shitload of collateral damage, and see if it's like a wound that runs its course, or is there a cure? Is there a medicine? I'm just going to do it like a little live thing. But sorry, go ahead. I'm doing Instagram live.
Let's do it.
Just have a little fun. But I guess that's a question I want to leave out there. But let us pretend to come up with an answer and see if our answer's wrong and have people correct on that.
Okay. Cool. Sorry, everybody else.
It's all right.
Okay, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, just whatever. We'll let it run for like a few minutes as a hook. So I'll ask the question again since we're doing another live. We're doing a second live. Cancel culture, wokeism, overcorrection. Do we let it run its course? Sorry. No, do we let it run its course, or is there a solution to it?
Oh, it's in my way of thinking of cancel culture, to the extreme that it has gotten, not for what it stands for. So just in the extremeness, I feel like we got to find some antibiotic to get rid of this gonorrhea.
No, God, no more drugs.
I'm sorry.
No more drugs, Liz.
I honestly feel like we have to sue the savage beast somehow. So what are we going to do? We have wokeism. We have cancel culture. What is going to be the next thing that we have? What is our third party, my outsider third party that's going to be like, whoa. Hey, hang on there, buddy. It's okay. I see you. But what do we do now? How can we go from here? You have to just almost get them a therapist. It's like they need couples therapy, wokeism and cancel culture. They need to sit together and they need to talk, because
therapy's good.
Therapy's good. I think we should do a therapy session, like a cute little therapy session, like where they're in the same room together and they're like, okay, so you're gonna do this, but we need to tell everybody why you're doing this. So there's wokeism, there's cancel culture. Let's get the two together, and they need to be best friends. And like some people do think that they already like that, but no, one's doing one, one's doing the other.
Right.
But they need to come together and explain why things are happening, or to stop the extreme measures from happening and work out a different solution, work out a different problem.
But there's a power dynamic right now.
Oh gosh.
That doesn't want to see that happen, right? I'll give you an example. Rumble, right?
Yes.
Rumble. I have a lot of friends on the left. I have a ton of friends on the left. I'm a New Yorker. But Rumble is like this place where like they think Republicans get to have their free speech. And to them, their perception of it's the Wild Wild West.
Ooh.
And what Rumble really is a place that Republicans feel comfortable, right? And that they just do. And that is what it is. But there's also a large group of people who are called progressives. These are people who are left to the left. Right. These are the people who maintain the foundation of free speech, which used to be a leftist thing. Now you see it's not as much leftist as it is. I think the right took. I think whoever the president is, the other party tends to go the other way. So if you feel like our current president is limiting your free speech, then all of a sudden you're free speech. So
I won't even get into that.
So I wouldn't say the Republicans are as much about free speech as they are opposed to people who are about that. But what happened was Rumble has this mixture of progressives and people who lean right, who will never agree on abortion, will never agree on entitlement spending. But when it comes to like the major pillars where like we can work together, anti-war, free speech, education reform. There are certain things they agree on, right? Like, look, like you have a population of people that think that everything should be taught and nothing should be taught. But when people start acting like mothers, functioning like mothers, and like normal people, you'll be surprised that this group of people, and I'm using Rumble and Twitter transitioned into that because now Twitter, everyone thinks it's like a Republican thing because they're free speech, right? But I'm going to give you the floor. But two things. One, I'm not talking about free speech absolutism. I'm talking about free speech enthusiasm.
Yes.
Like not, like if I own Twitter, if I'm Elon Musk and someone doxes my family, your account's gone. Oh, wait, I thought you said it was free speech. No, not really. Not really. I mean, and every single one of us, you and me sitting in this room, everyone watching on Instagram right now would say the same thing. If you dox my family, you're gone. Right? So I believe in free speech, but not absolute. So I want to give you the floor on the solution, because I think the solution is changing a power dynamic where people who feel the same way like you and me can migrate, get together, allow that group to get bigger. And at the same time, demonstrate to the world that nobody's getting harmed. There's no harm in this dialogue.
No, there is no harm in this type of free speech. Because you're right. There's an umbrella of free speech. And it just depends on where you fall under. Now, what I think is pretty funny is you're like the absolute. Yeah, okay. You're right. But also, how do I explain this? Like, I don't feel safe to say anything to anyone anymore. The fact that I'm doing this with you, talking about everything freely without being worried on these four walls that no one's going to come in and like shoot me for what I'm saying. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, or I'm going to get canceled. Who am I to get canceled though? But they'll cancel freaking anyone. A fly that buzzes in their ear, they're like, hell no, I told you not to. But the thing is the free
But it's more
speech.
dangerous for you because you don't have a blue check by your name where people have your back,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
Let's say you have Joe Rogan's back and they get rid of your Facebook and Instagram account. Who has yours?
Nobody.
Does Joe have your back? No. Does
He
Trump have your back? No.
No.
Does Biden have your back? No. So
Only I have
I
my
would suggest to you it's more dangerous for someone like
okay,
you who's just trying to be on a social network where you just have this dynamic where you could talk to your friends. You know, right now your significant other's not even in California,
I know.
right? But
so
you know,
he doesn't even have my back right now.
but you know what I'm saying? But that was the point I was trying to make. But continue.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
you're
okay.
onto something.
Yes. I don't feel safe anywhere having an opinion. And it's not because of the lack of culture I have. Because well, no, that's not true because I'm Alaskan Indian. So it's like it's pretty prominent. So
Eat your heart out, Elizabeth Warren.
Hey. But the whole it's hard to I feel like I'm censoring myself in my head. That's where I'm at in going on in life.
Right.
I censor fucking everything. Everything in my head. I'm like, should I? Should I? Because of what we talked about earlier on the no. Mm-hmm. On paper, I feel like everything. Gosh, I'm still censoring myself. This is terrible. This is horrible.
Well,
Whatever. No. Okay. Me and you are having free speech right now. We're talking about everything.
right.
I go out into Trader Joe's or I go, to the Vons down the street, right? And I say something on my AirPods talking to you in that sense. I'm going to have 5 moms come around the corner going, "Excuse me, did you just say that? I'm sorry. Do you really believe that? Do you honestly really believe that this is
We're in a
what's
crazy
happening?"
zip code.
I'm
We
like,
are.
excuse me, like, hello, A and B conversation, see the fuck out of here. Like,
Yes.
I don't understand why everyone needs to get involved in that sense when I'm having a personal conversation. And yes, I'm being a little loud. Yes, I could probably be like, oh, I'm sorry. I won't shove my views in your face. I'm just having a conversation. But no one's having this conversation. No one's talking about the important things on how we can solve this problem on speaking freely without fear. And that's just always like through the beginning of time, that's how it is.
Well, the less engagement you have, the more canceling is going to happen.
I know, right?
So Jon Stewart actually said that, and I'm a big Jon Stewart fan. I don't always agree with him, but as far as like his heart being in the right place and the things he's done in his life, he's got a great track record of just helping people.
Yeah.
And one of his big things was don't censor, engage. So I'll give you an example. Here's a cool thing. I run a volleyball clinic on Sunday afternoon, all right? And it's for a certain age demographic, and it's an open clinic. So you could have advanced players or whatever, and I have the tough task of taking people who probably never even touched the ball and mix them with other people who might not have the patience for them. But that's my gift, okay? You know. That's why they pay me the big bucks, all right? So I have someone come into the gym, and by physical appearances, could be a boy or could be a girl. I'm just going to be upfront. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Right. So I said, hey, come on in. How you doing? I'm like, what's your name? And they, I don't know if it's he or she, so I'll just say they kind of go like this, kind of like this with their face, Liz.
Mm.
So I said, okay, what do you want to be called? And she says, Frankie. I said, Frankie, come on, let's go. Let's have fun. And from there, great practice. She kept coming back, or they kept coming back. Learned the game, and the other girls who can play are like, oh my God, look at her, she's gotten better. And it's like her first pass to a target. Like the girls who can play are like,
Yeah.
it's so encouraging and so whatever. So, but the point I was trying to make was the empathy went my way when I said, what do you want to be called? Now, for the people listening, you have to treat these pronoun things like nicknames. Right? We best close friends, relatives, right? Relatives. No, but right, Liz, relatives, close friends, we have nicknames for everything, right? Me and my girlfriend, we have nicknames for each other, right? That's not everybody's business, but what we prefer to be called or what we're okay with being called, right?
Yeah.
So these whole people are like, I'm not going to call you sir this or sir that or whatever. And I'm like, listen, that's probably because you're not invested in them. And it's your right to not call them that. And it's that person's right to not engage with you if they feel strongly enough that you should call them that and they don't.
Yeah, but we don't have that anymore. What you're saying is we don't have that right.
No, but I think the point I'm trying to make is how you're addressing someone comes with an element of just caring about someone like a regular human being.
Oh.
Like a mammal that walks on two legs and drinks water. You ain't got no problem saying them, they, or this and that. You don't care about pronouns because you're just caring about somebody's well-being, their psychology, right? And if you think that's a sickness, that's even more of a reason to care. You know, I don't think it's a sickness. I just think some people just get confused sometimes. So, there are people who change their name legally, right? Why is it okay for them and not this person would be called? So for me, I don't have that heightened level of emotional investment on what I could call someone or not.
Apparently I'm working out. Hold on. Oh, there we go. All right.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I don't have this heightened investment on what I should or shouldn't call somebody. Now, as far as transgenders and how people identify in sports, that's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole other conversation that we won't get into.
Well, it's a conversation because I object to people saying it's not a conversation.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. You don't even have to pick a side to pick the side on someone to say this has to be a conversation. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll give you an example, the Leah Thomas thing and the Gaines thing, where Leah Thomas like shattered every record or whatever and this and that. Gaines, who's a woman, thought she was cheated because this person, changed over. And Leah Thomas, by the way, did it right. All right, Leah Thomas, whether you object she should be in those in that position or not, and I do object she shouldn't have been in that. She or he or they did it right. They went to the NCAA. I want to do it. Walk me through the steps on how I can do this where there's no show, where it's legal and everybody's not too unhappy. So Leah Thomas, to her credit, I guess did it right. Now, the problem I have is people saying it shouldn't even be a discussion. Your eye test alone says that that's a discussion, all right? And the problem, and I'm giving you the floor in a minute, what I would like for personalities like Joe Rogan or whatever, no matter who you are, even me, why isn't there a conversation where the two people in the room are Riley Gaines and Leah Thomas? Why hasn't years go by and people are still he and hawing about this? Because that's what a room full of white guys do. They want to talk about female problems. They want to talk about black people problems. They want to talk about transgender problems. Like a room full of white guys have the solution for all of those problems and don't have the person of interest in that room. So I'm giving you the floor, but my question is, why haven't we had a conversation where both of them are in the same room?
Why haven't we? Because they're freaking scared of what's going to happen. They're scared of what they're going to say. Oh, no, shame on you. They're scared.
They really are.
What are they going to say that's going to influence the world? It's a conversation that everyone should probably listen into, and it's a conversation that probably will never be had, and that's freaking sad. Yeah. But they're scared. Everyone's scared. And they're scared about talking about transgender.
How do you stop this? We had enough of this live. That's all you get, people. That's all you get. Like
Peace
Street
out,
Fighter.
Scout.
Like that? Cool. Perfect.
I don't know why I'm sharing, but you
Yeah,
don't need to
this is
share
where
it.
Miranda's being missed.
Yeah, right? I'm like, how do you do this?
Miranda, we miss you. I need a tech. I need a Jamie for the Joe Rogan. But I would like to see them two in a room
Oh, yeah.
and just talk and just dialogue. Fight
Ask
games.
each other questions.
Tell Leah, defend yourself. Tell her
Yes.
why she
Not
doesn't
even
understand.
defend yourself. But,
No, definitely defend yourself because she's under
that's
attack.
True. That's true. She is.
You know,
Yeah.
but Gaines is too.
100%.
Gaines got punched
So what
by a dude in 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
San Francisco. She went there and there was a big protest about her speaking at the university, and they blacked out all the lights and a guy punched her in the face. And to me, no matter what side you are, has it come to this
Yes.
where it's okay for a man to punch a woman in the face
That's what everyone feels like right now.
or whatever part of her body, but
I
that's okay now. That, like you said, is the overcorrection.
yes, it is.
Where
It's
if that
the
happens to
overcorrection.
Gaines, it's fair game.
That's how it looks like. Have you watched some of these things? I mean, oh my gosh, this is so freaking ridiculous. Like, get the stand up,
Yeah.
say something, listen, hear people. Even if you're wrong, listen so that you can understand why. I don't understand why people aren't even like they're not ready. They're not ready for this conversation. and yet here we are when we're talking about they them.
Listen, you're a woman, all right? Now I don't know who the hell I asked. I know that's the people in the back. Who told me that?
Did you say something?
Yes. Anybody in the back? You are a woman.
Yes.
We had a great conversation the first time you came on the podcast about street harassment.
Yes.
Right?
Oh.
Remember street harassment? Maybe I should just put the video back up just
You
for fun.
should.
As we put the video up, it was such a fun podcast because I had Miranda, who was my producer at the time, and the tech person, and you, two women, talk about being harassed on the street and why sometimes you feel like it's complimentary. It's like a morale booster for some people, but at the same time, it's a hugely uncomfortable thing for other people. Yeah. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I'm going to give you the floor because it has so many colors, right? The reason why I enjoyed this episode is because if it's a problem that women have, and if it's something people call a women issue or man to woman issue, let's say it's an issue for both. How is the issue supposed to be solved if it's just a room full of guys, right? If it's just a woman issue, how's a room full of guys going to sit there? But if it's a man's issue and a woman's issue both, how is just a room full of guys supposed to be the solution to that? This is how we're going to behave. This is how we're going to treat these bitches, right? So, actually, I got it right here.
You got it? Oh.
I do. I want to do the shorter version. There's like
Okay.
a longer version of this, and we ain't going there.
It's
But
been years.
DJ, spin that stuff. Oh my God, we're bringing this back. 10 hours of silent walking through all the areas of Manhattan. This is New York.
How you doing today? That's not good.
Subtitling too.
Girl, how you doing? Somebody's acknowledging you. She's an
He said, God bless you, mommy.
Hey, beautiful. How are you this morning? Have a nice evening.
Now,
Aw.
some of them are nice, right? It's whatever. This one said, damn.
Sexy American Eagle.
And this one, I think, start walking with her. This one's creepy. For 2 minutes, this one walking with her. Look at the speed she's walking. He adjusted his speed to walk with her.
4 minutes.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
5 minutes.
What?
Doing good?
Oh my God. All right, we get the picture. Yeah, room full of men. Not the problem. Not the solution to that.
I don't know. Why don't we ask the guys on the street how they feel about it? Oh, I think it's fine, isn't it?
Right. Well, the reason why I brought it up is because you and Miranda had asked me what are you guys gonna do about that, and I said, for me, absolutely nothing. And you guys are like, oh, you got to be shitting me, you're kidding me, right? And I said, no, my reasoning is this: we can't have a room full of guys solve a problem that women feel that they have a problem with men. So maybe absolutely nothing wasn't the answer, but the answer was maybe the answer today is something, but with you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, what would you like to happen? Like exactly what you're asking me right now.
Yes.
You're doing it right now. You're not doing nothing.
But you can't.
You're asking
And that's the
question.
problem I had with you women at that. You can't say that we have to solve the problem, but you're not going to tell us. You're not going to help us and dialogue with us how. Because if we come up with a solution you don't like, this is how we're going to help these bitches, right? It's probably going to be the wrong answer because it's a room full of guys, right? And on the white and black dynamic, I object to this heavily edited video that, by the way, had no Caucasian male flirt with her. Everybody that flirted with that girl was black and Latino, and I didn't like that. You trying to tell me you walked through all of Manhattan and no white guy did that? It's like, so there was this dynamic that
you didn't like either.
Well, it painted a worser picture of Latino and black people,
taste.
And let me tell you something. We're in New York, culturally speaking, we are a loud and dynamic people. So if you're looking for clicks and you're looking for ammunition, you're definitely going to get it from that population of people. But you're trying to tell me one white guy didn't do that?
I thought I saw some. Was he Latino?
Maybe, I guess. I hope so. Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Where you gotta be? You gotta be somewhere.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I have work at 5.
Yeah, I got work at 5 too.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I keep looking at the time because I'm like, I know you told me the same thing, but
Yeah.
I want to say something.
Please.
So it goes both ways. And I would love to talk to a woman who absolutely thinks it's disgusting and despicable, and that's the only way that it is. All right, okay, sure. But let me just tell you about my night at work. I made really great money. Okay? I made really great money being a server. And mind you, I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, no crazy makeup.
Right.
My pants were tight, and I just have this little
Everyone's
can-do
pants are
attitude.
Anyone know what I'm wearing under this desk? All of our pants are tight. But go
There
ahead.
you go. But I'm just like, can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
No? Do you need anything? And I played into it. I played into this, like, the stereotypical damsel in distress woman who's working as a server and as a college student and a single mom. And I am all of those things, but I played my ass into it, okay? You can't tell me that it doesn't feel good when you get noticed. And it does. But there is a level of it. Just as anything, Like, I mean, if someone's standing there near me for 5 minutes looking at me, not going away because he's trying to accomplish something, there's a problem. If I'm like playing into it and we're having a fun back and back, I gave him a little bit of conversation and he gave me a boost. But, it can go a different way. It can get real creepy.
Yeah,
but
no
women
doubt.
do the same thing with guys. I'm sorry, they do.
I mean, I guess it's so disproportionate it's not mentioned.
It's
right?
not mentioned because everything in Hollywood told you that a man is the only one whistling, when I know for a fact that I whistle as well. There's no way. I love it. I'm just like, hey, how you doing, handsome? Like, why not? And like some guys, like they took, like they're like, no, and then they felt uncomfortable. Oh, you felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard 2 women at Starbucks say, you know what? She's like, you know how I knew I reached that certain age? She says, I walked past the construction site and nobody said anything. And she's like, yep, it's over. And the 3 of them just started laughing and I was cracking up. It was a joke.
It's so true though. Like I feel like for like years, like I kind of let myself go. I was really bad in depression and now I'm back in the gym like every day eating right. I'm feeling good about myself and I know that I feel beautiful. I know that I love my body right now. And to get like that little extra, hey, I'm
There
like,
it
hey,
is.
okay,
Yeah.
I did it. Like I'm good. That's so you can't say you don't like it. I mean, sometimes it's just the extent of it.
So,
There
so
you go.
before we go, we got to talk about this raid.
Okay.
So me and Liz, when we get on the podcast or when we talk to each other, we like to at least do one current event. So this one, the FBI kidnaps the wrong man. The FBI was doing a training exercise on like taking hostages and hostage negotiation and how to rescue that hostage. So they were practicing in this hotel, like one of the Delta hotels, the airline hotels.
Yeah.
And instead of grabbing like the actor or the person for the whatever, they grabbed a real person, kidnapped this person. Actually, you know what? It doesn't say enough. Let's play the clip. DJ, spin that. Actually, let's
Here we go. Right,
let's do the ad first. Here you go.
FBI agents working with the Department of Defense barged into a room on the 15th floor of the Revere Hotel on Stewart Street in Boston. The FBI says it happened just before midnight on Wednesday. Agents banged on the door to room 1505. Inside was a sleeping Delta Airlines pilot who was a guest at the hotel. He opened the door, and sources say agents barged in, handcuffed and interrogated the pilot for more than 45 minutes. Nearly an hour later, sources say they realized their mistake, took the cuffs off, and released him.
Oh, all right.
He's gonna need therapy.
Dude, we get the point. So I want you to picture in your head like a whole bunch of people walk into the room, grab you, throwing the bathtub, throw water on you and stuff like that, handcuff you. And then all of a sudden, they realize they have the wrong person and they just say, sorry, and leave. And when they leave, you're sitting there like, what the fuck just happened?
I mean, who could ever say, like, if that really happened to you, what you would actually do in the moment? But what I picture in my head is really playing along with it. Honestly, because, like, if you think about it, you're just like, this whole experience happens to you, and you're sitting there looking at everyone. You're getting maybe slapped around. They tie your hands to the back, and you're getting waterboarded.
And then they just leave.
Tell me. And then you just
whoosh.
leave. It's like, oh, this is going to sound bad, but it's like, you know, having that one night stand and he came and you didn't. It's an unfinished business, you know, where you're just like, oh yeah, I did. I came.
You could have had a V8.
I could have had a V8 today. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Damn. Wow. What was this? And it's like, and then I kind of want them to come back. Like, wait.
We have to.
Yeah.
You know, I have a news show called Undivided, and I think just for entertainment purposes, I gotta run that by Wendy Jones and Ashley just to see what's up. So,
Got it.
oh my God! So we got one more thing when we leave. We have the 60-second
Yes.
lightning round.
Yes.
I'm gonna set up my clock, and then we got work to do. You got work, and so do I.
Let's go. I know.
The difference is,
know.
I think you got to go home first, right? And
Yeah, an hour
and
away.
Do that. I'm so sorry, dude.
No, stop it.
All right.
I love you.
So 60-second
Let's go.
clock, and it's right there. Perfect. So ready?
Go.
Okay. Last good book you read?
Oh. I haven't read a book in a long time.
All right. What was the other one you read quickly?
Oh, The Giver. The Giver.
Yes. Favorite comedian?
Kevin Hart right now, honestly.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Pool or the beach?
A pool.
Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
Lord of the Rings.
Bourbon, vodka, or tequila?
Tequila.
Favorite sport to watch?
Baseball. Hands down.
Favorite action film star growing up?
Die Hard. All of them.
Bruce Willis?
Yes.
Yes.
My favorite Christmas movie.
Favorite morning show if you watch it, whether it's sports or whatever?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I like watching the highlights on ESPN because I just like to be current in all sports.
Yeah. Nice.
Fun.
Cool. That was the end. So a little story about tequila. I was at Hennessy's Wednesday night and I told him I want something fruity and girly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, do you want tequila? And I was just grouchy. And I said, no, tequila's for horny white girls. I don't want tequila. And everyone started laughing, right? So, and the waitress is like, really? And I'm like, yes, do you have vodka? Give me a Cosmo, whatever, and this and that. So she walks away like, okay, right? So what happened 10 minutes later, she walks by and she has 5 shots of tequila, like on her little tray. And I said, excuse me, come here for a second. I said, who's that for? What table is that for? And she said, that table over there. And she looked over and I said, who's at that table? She's like, oh my God, I get it. 5 horny white girls.
I mean, you're not wrong.
was-
You know, put me in that category.
Yeah.
Put me in that category, baby.
So Liz, I'm gonna plug in your Insta. Anyone want to like reach out to you and
Yes.
sing and this and that, but
Say hi.
I'm pretty sure this video is not gonna survive anything. But
No, but whatever. It's
No.
fun.
We gotta do what we gotta do. I don't think that only famous comedians should have the right to say what they want. I think we should be able to say what we want to.
We should.
You know, and you know what? And we got our own back. How about that?
We do.
All right. So, guys, Liz might love you, but I don't love any of you. In fact, I can't stand any of you. So for all of you at home, for all of you on your iPad or your Droid, for all of you on your desktop, who runs the world? It's right there, baby. Old school. From my homie, Liz Ribble. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
course.
This is episode 176 of The Option. I'm Jason DeBeers.
Come check out the Option podcast on optionvb.com.
Let's try that again.
Do it again.
And we're out.
On Spotify and on YouTube under the NY Varsity
I'll
Sports
edit that.
handle.
I
You're
can
going to love
edit
what you
that.
hear.
I'll edit that. I suck.
Or